The West Bloomfield community is mourning the loss of longtime West Bloomfield Library Board member Ken Macon, who passed away this past weekend. Ken served several terms on the library board, including 3 as board president and 4 as the treasurer. Ken is someone who's had a profound impact on the community over the years, especially when it came to expanding young minds with reading and education. I recently spoke with Cathy Russ, the library director for the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, who told me about Ken's impact on making the library what it is today.
He was on the library board for 16 years, and he was on the Friends board prior to that. So he was a big part of the library, the life of the library, I would say for well over 20 years. He was one of the people who were instrumental in getting the bond passed in 1997 so the library could expand. And he was also on the library board when the library won the National Medal in 2010. And that's the highest honor a library can receive. So he was a part of so many things that made the West Bloomfield Library what it is today. He was a mover and a shaker. He got things done, and he just made it such a wonderful place.
Ken has been a key figure in the West Bloomfield Library's success and their impact on Greater West Bloomfield. Cathy Russ further went on to explain where Ken's love of reading and education comes from and why he wanted to help the community.
Well, from what I understand from Ken himself, and certainly from Deb, Ken's wife, Ken always loved reading. You know, even when he was serving in the Vietnam War, he had books in his locker and he would read them. And, Deb told me about that and said it was just, he made a point of modeling that behavior for people who were younger than him and, other people in the military to show the importance of reading. I think he really cared about literacy and making sure that kids knew how to read and the importance of lifelong learning in someone's life, and that the library could assist, support, and really be a huge part of that. I think that just seemed to be so much a priority and a value to him that he lived it. He lived it and demonstrated that.
Of course, Ken's impact on Greater West Bloomfield extends beyond his work with the West Bloomfield Library. He's been a longtime figurehead in West Bloomfield, and in 2025, Macon was awarded the Jeff Lieb Lifetime Leadership Award at the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast, noting his 16 years on the library board and countless other volunteer efforts. Cathy Russ told me Ken's impact on the community, as well as his strong relationship with his wife, Deb.
Ken was that quiet, steady, calm presence that every community needs to serve as the backbone of the community. Like I said, he's the person who doesn't flinch in times of danger. He's there to help, and he's so supportive. And he and his wife, Deb, who is also a mover and shaker and beloved by this community. What a great team. What a great team. He always looked nice. He always had a great shirt or a great sweater, and he looked good in every color. And, every so often I'd say, Ken, that's a great sweater. Or that's a great shirt. You look great in that color. And he'd say, Deb picked it out for me. I always got to do what she tells me to do. But he would be smiling. It was clear that he adored her. And I think they together and individually have done so much for this community, but together, what a great team.
Quite the dynamic duo. Ken may be gone, but the impact he has had on the Greater West Bloomfield community should always be remembered. And Cathy explained to me how she would like Ken's legacy to be honored.
So the West Bloomfield Library is fantastic. They are very supportive of everything that Ken was supportive. Lifelong learning, literacy. They want kids to come in and read. They want the families and caregivers to bring the kids in. But we also have, an adult population, senior population, teen population. The library's for everybody. That's what Ken believed. That's what the library board believes. And they all had an opportunity. Everybody who's on the board currently, I think, had an opportunity to know and work with Ken in some capacity. And just he's such a universally beloved person in this community that I think we'll find ways to honor him, with the wishes of the family, but I'm sure we'll find a really wonderful way to keep his memory alive.
You can hear how much the community truly loved Ken Macon and all of the work he did to make the library and Greater West Bloomfield a better place. He will be sorely missed, and we thank Cathy Russ for talking with us here on the Splash Live to share all the wonderful memories of what Ken brought to this community.